Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into an important message for anyone who feels like life is tossing them around like a relentless storm. Whether you're dealing with loss, hardship, or just feeling overwhelmed, I want to remind you of one crucial truth. God will make a way. So if you're feeling stuck, hopeless, or ready to give up, stay with me, because this message could be exactly what you need to hear. 1. The storms of life can sometimes feel like a never-ending storm. We try to steer the ship of our lives, but the waves keep crashing. No matter what we do, it feels like we can't catch a break. If you've ever been there, or if you're feeling like that right now, I want you to know something important. You are not alone. We've all had moments when it feels like the weight of our problems is too heavy to carry. Like our prayers are going unanswered, and the hope we once had is slipping through our fingers. But before you let that despair overtake you, I want you to pause and reflect on one unchanging truth. God is always working, even when you can't see it. 2. God's higher perspective. One of the most comforting but challenging aspects of faith is this: God's ways are higher than our ways. In Isaiah 55:9, God says, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." It's hard for us to understand why certain things happen, especially when life seems chaotic or painful. From our limited perspective, it can feel unfair. But God sees the bigger picture. He knows every twist and turn on the road ahead, and He's working all things together for good, even when we can't make sense of it. 3. Trusting without immediate answers. We often want immediate answers when we're going through tough times. We want to know why we're suffering, or how we'll find our way out. But here's the thing: faith doesn't always operate on immediate answers. Faith means trusting in God's higher ways, even when we don't understand. Proverbs 3:5-6 gives us this beautiful promise: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Notice what this verse doesn't say. It doesn't promise that God will give us all the answers right away. It says to trust and submit to Him, and He will direct our paths. Our focus shouldn't be on figuring everything out, but on trusting the one who already has it all figured out. 4. God's power to make a way. When life feels impossible, and it seems like there's no way out, remember that God specializes in making a way where there seems to be no way. Let's take the story of the Israelites. After escaping slavery in Egypt, they found themselves trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. It seemed like they had no way out. But what did God do? He parted the sea and made a path for them. That same God who parted the Red Sea for the Israelites is the same God who is working in your life today. He can make a way for you even if you can't see how. When you feel stuck, remember that God isn't bound by the limitations we see. He can open doors no one else can open, create paths in the wilderness, and work miracles in impossible situations. 5. Waiting on God's perfect timing. Waiting on God can be one of the hardest things to do, especially when we're hurting. We want Him to fix everything right away, but remember, God's timing is perfect. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Waiting is hard, especially when we're in pain or confusion. But waiting on God isn't wasted time. When we wait, we're strengthened. God uses that time to build us up, to prepare us for what's to come. And in His perfect time, He will reveal His plans. 6. Holding on to God's promises. When life gets overwhelming, one of the greatest sources of comfort is anchoring yourself in God's promises. The Bible is filled with promises for every situation you're facing. Let these verses remind you of His faithfulness. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." Joshua 1:9 tells us, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Philippians 4:13 reminds us, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Speak these promises over your life, and let them remind you that God is always with you. No matter how dark things get, He will never leave you nor forsake you. 7. From brokenness to beauty. Perhaps one of the most beautiful truths in Scripture is that God brings beauty from ashes. He specializes in turning our brokenness into something beautiful. What feels like the end for you might just be the beginning of what God is about to do in your life. Galatians 6:9 encourages us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Your breakthrough is coming. Your harvest is on its way. Don't give up. Keep pressing forward in faith, knowing that God is working behind the scenes. 8. God is always at work, even in the silence. One of the hardest things we face is the silence. You might be praying and seeking God, yet it feels like there's no response. But let me remind you of something. God is always working, even when it feels like He's silent. Just because we don't see immediate answers doesn't mean He's not moving on our behalf. In Romans 8:28, we're reminded, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Notice that it says in all things, not just the good, not just the easy times, but in all things, including the hard times, God is working for your good. This means that even when life feels overwhelming, even when your prayers seem unanswered, God is orchestrating something bigger, something beyond what you can see. He's moving pieces into place that you may not recognize right now, but in time, you'll see the fruits of His work. Think of a seed planted in the soil. For a time, nothing happens on the surface, but underneath the seed is taking root, growing, and preparing to break through the soil. Your breakthrough is coming, but it often starts in places you can't see. Stay patient, stay faithful, and trust that God's plans are unfolding in His perfect timing. 9. Surrendering control and trusting God. One of the greatest challenges we face is the desire to control our situation. We want to know what's next, to have everything figured out, and to make sure things go according to our plans. But here's the truth. We don't have to know all the details. We just need to know who is in control. In Proverbs 3:5-6, we're reminded, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." This doesn't mean we'll always get the answers we're seeking, but it means we can rest in the assurance that God knows what He's doing, even when we don't. We don't have to carry the burden of trying to control everything. When we submit to God, when we trust Him fully, He will direct our paths. Maybe you've been trying to figure out how you're going to fix your financial struggles, or how you're going to repair a broken relationship, or how you're going to overcome a health crisis. But the beauty of faith is that you don't have to know how, you just have to know who. God is the one in control, and when we surrender our lives to Him, we can rest in knowing that He's already mapped out a way for us. 10. God is faithful to complete what He has started. One thing I want to encourage you with is this: God is faithful. He will complete the work He has started in your life. Philippians 1:6 tells us, "Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." This means that God doesn't leave things unfinished. If He has promised something, if He has called you to something, He will bring it to pass. Sometimes we feel like giving up because we can't see the full picture, but God is working out every detail, and He will bring His plans to fruition. 11. The power of waiting on God. Waiting is one of the hardest things we do, especially when we don't know how long we'll have to wait. But waiting on God is never wasted time. Isaiah 40:31 promises that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. There's something powerful about waiting with expectation. When we wait on God, we're not just sitting idly. We're preparing our hearts, we're growing in faith, and we're learning to trust in His timing. Even in the waiting, God is at work. He's strengthening you, refining you, and preparing you for what's ahead. 12. God brings beauty from brokenness. One of the most beautiful things about God is His ability to bring beauty from our brokenness. What may feel like the end of your story is often the beginning of something greater that God is doing in your life. Galatians 6:9 encourages us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." You might feel like giving up right now, but hold on. Don't grow weary in the waiting. Your harvest is coming. God is faithful to bring something beautiful out of your pain, your struggles, and your challenges. Sometimes we can't see it in the moment, but God is weaving together a story of redemption in your life. The ashes you see now will become something beautiful in His perfect time. 13. Final encouragement. So as we come to the end of this message, I want to leave you with this thought. God is always making a way. Even when it feels like the road is blocked, even when you feel trapped by your circumstances, He is working behind the scenes, moving in ways you can't yet see. His timing is perfect, His plans are good, and He will bring you through this storm. Hold on to His promises, trust in His higher ways, and rest in the knowledge that you don't have to figure everything out, because He already has. Your breakthrough is coming, and God will make a way. Keep your eyes fixed on Him, stay strong in your faith, and know that He is always with you. So today, whatever storm you're facing, I encourage you to hold on. God is making a way. Even if you don't see it yet, trust that He is at work, moving on your behalf, and in His perfect time, He will bring you through. If this message has encouraged you, please like, share, and subscribe so we can reach even more people with this message of hope. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. God is with you every step of the way, and your breakthrough is coming. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this message has brought you some comfort, encouragement, and hope. If it did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit that subscribe button to stay connected for more faith-filled content. And remember, no matter what you're going through right now, God will make a way. You're not alone in this journey, and your breakthrough is on its way. God will make a way where there seems to be no way. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay strong, stay faithful, and I'll see you in the next video. God will make a way where there seems to be no way. Don't forget to subscribe and stay connected for more faith-filled inspiration. See you soon!